Hi guys, my name is Morton Myers and I'm one of the candidates running for mayor of Clearwater. I was born and raised here in Clearwater, born here in 1979 at Morton Hospital. I've grown up in a few communities around here, Wood Valley, a couple neighborhoods right behind Clearwater High School, and then I currently live in the neighborhood just to the north of the Long Center on Belcher. I've lived here my whole life. I've gone to school here. I have a family of four. I have 4 kids. I'm married to my high school sweetheart, who's also a teacher at Clearwater High School. And I own 2 small businesses. I own the Dairy Curl on Gulf to Bay, the little old red and white one that's been there since 1953. And I also own Tampa Bay Pond, also on Gulf to Bay. Why did I get into politics in Clearwater? There's a couple things that drove me into this. The first thing is fiscal responsibility. I think our city needs to look at what they're spending, and we need to make sure it's in the best interest of our families and our community and our small businesses. The second thing I really think is important is preservation. I believe in preserving history. There's a lot of mistakes that have happened in Clearwater and things that are changing and things that shouldn't be. Saving the Coachman Park name, very important to me. It's part of our history. Trying to put some of our history back into these parks and back into our city. We also have things like the African American graveyard that was built over. When I went to Curtis Fundamental, I went to that school where it was one of the locations where they're looking up and seeing what happened and seeing what we can do better. And I think that's important. We preserve history, we don't make those mistakes. So I don't think we should use marketing as a reason to eliminate our history and eliminate what makes Clearwater so great. I'm also a big supporter of small businesses, being that I have 2 small businesses. I think we need to cut a lot of red tape and make Clearwater better for our businesses. It's hard to start a business here. I know, because my first business, I actually tried 2 locations here, and I wound up my 3rd location, which is where I started, was in Oldsmar. And it's because there was a lot of red tape, a lot of codes, and having to bring buildings to codes and using old vacant buildings was really tough. And for a new business owner and a small business owner, it just didn't work well. I'm also big on the environment. I'm a Boy Scout. I'm an Eagle Scout. I'm a Cub Scout leader. I was a Girl Scout leader for my daughter's troop originally. And the environment, the air we breathe, is so important. And I'd like to add, 1 million trees to Clearwater, but that's not just 1 million trees in our parks, because that won't work. That's the city helping people plant trees on their properties, helping businesses plant trees on their properties. How many parking lots do you go into and you park and there's no shade, and there's one little parking curb out there with a tree, and how many cars can crowd around that and try to catch a little shade? I think all those parking lots are a great opportunity to put trees in, and I think the city could help them, and we could definitely make this a better place to breathe, and it's a great area. So as far as things that I would like to see happen right away, we're working on this Imagine Clearwater plan. I think it lost sight of what the people wanted, and it lost sight of what it was originally meant to be. It's meant to be a big green space, and it's meant to be a park that's for all of us. And now they're talking a big amphitheater, and I don't agree with the amphitheater. I think a bandshell is important. We should be able to have our community venue and our parks and our events down here, but I don't think we need to be another tourist destination, not with our beautiful waterfront. I also think when we're looking at projects that big, we're looking at selling the Harborview lot where the Harborview Center used to stand, and the former City Hall, where our City Hall is still meant to be, and the parking lot that we got into a big dispute over, which is right up the hill behind you. And with those properties, if we sell those, 2 of those have to go to referendum, which means us, the people, get to vote for it. I don't think we should sell them. Those are part of the legacy of Clearwater. That's part of the original area that built Clearwater. So I think it's really important to keep those. I also think it's not smart to sell the only actual parking property we have right next to what's going to be the new Coachman Park. So I think that's really important. We need to focus on keeping those and preserving those. Transportation. Our city, driving around our city, everyone knows that Gulf to Bay's a mess, and US 19's a mess, Drew Street's a mess, and they're not getting better. Drew Street, they're looking at with the new project to redo safer streets. They're going to choke down Drew Street. They're going to turn it 1 lane each way in some segments. And I don't think that's going to be a good thing for any of us. I think that's going to drive more traffic onto the other roads, which means Gulf to Bay is going to get much harder. So we need to look at alternative means of traffic and ways to get people around Clearwater. I know there's a lot of people that live in Clearwater that don't go to the beach because the traffic's too bad. Can you imagine being one of the citizens that lives on the beach and trying to get home every night? They deal with it every day. In other areas, you have countryside. They still call themselves countryside even though they're Clearwater. They feel left out. And this is something that it bothers me. My Cub Scout troop is in countryside. I spent a lot of time in countryside growing up. And my first business, I commuted through countryside every day. And they don't feel like they're a part of Clearwater. I know we have to address our policing. We have a lot of areas that feel they're over-policed and some areas that are begging for more help. So those are things we need to assess and we need to address right away. So I'd like to get in there. I'd like to make a difference. I'm born and raised here. I'm someone I think we can all work with. I know I have a kind of a controversial side. Yes, I do have family that is Scientologists and they are on staff with the Church of Scientology. No, I'm not a Scientologist. No, I wasn't raised in the Fort Harrison Hotel. But I do know a lot of people and I get along with people and I'm very good at communicating. I actually go to church in Largo. I go to a Christian church and my pastor, I told him I wouldn't be using him to advertise, but that's where I go. I was raised, my dad was actually a Quaker when I was growing up too, and my grandmother, so I was raised with Quaker values, which some people don't even know what that is, but I learned to accept everyone, and I learned to work with everyone. And my whole background is customer service. Being my own business owner, I've learned to work with people over the last years and years and years, but I worked in management and I worked in marketing, and I've done a lot of jobs in sales, so I've learned to talk and I've learned to listen. And I think that's what we need. We need a city council, we need a mayor that are willing to be open, honest, talk, transparent. I'm very transparent, and I'm running on my first name, Morton. I want everyone to know me as Morton. You don't have to call me Mr. Myers, sir. Nope, come up to me. Hey Morton, how's it going today? If you have a question, ask Morton a question, ask me a question. I'm not scared to talk to people. So that's what we need from our city council, and that's what we need from our mayor. And I hope to get your support. Check out the website, Morton, the number 4 mayor.com or mortonmyersformayor.com. I'm on all the social medias if you just Google, and it's Morton, M-O-R-T-O-N, just like the hospital, just like the Salt. I grew up being called Salt. So check me out. Hopefully you like what you hear, and we got a few days to get this done. Thank you guys.